We are 5 days away from the solar eclipse, and Kent is getting ready. TV2 News tells you how the city is planning on doing so.
That's right, Matt, but before you pop on those eclipse glasses, we've got what the weather will look like, because it might not be all that sunny.
In Washington, the U.S. is saying that they were not involved in an Israeli strike that took place in Syria, what both nations are doing going forward.
Movie buffs and wannabe actors rejoice as your chance to be in a blockbuster film may be happening this summer. We'll tell you what movie is filming in Cleveland. All these stories and more as TV2 News at 6 starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here at TV2 News at 6 this Wednesday night. I'm Matt Carali.
And I'm Hayden Cruz.
Well, Hayden, it seems to be that a retired professor is hosting some sort of workshop teaching that shows students how to make their own glasses for the solar eclipse.
Yes, Matt, he is. So our own Emma Campbell tells us how the Tree City is getting ready for this moment in history. Hi, Emma. What do you have for us?
Hi guys, I'm here today at the Learning Innovations Lab with Dr. John Segar, who put together a workshop for staff and students to put together their very own eclipse finder. So, can you tell me a little bit about how you made this and what it's made out of?
Well, sure. It's a cardboard tube, aluminum foil on the end, a tiny hole in the foil. What it is a pinhole camera or a camera obscura. The longer the tube, the bigger the image of the sun. So what you do is you put this over your shoulder, with the sun to your back, and look at the shadow on the ground. Okay. And when the shadow is a perfect circle, that means light's coming right down and you see the sun projected on that plastic screen at the bottom. It's just a cardboard bathing tube with a rubber band, piece of foil. Very simple, inexpensive thing.
All right, fantastic. Can you also go ahead and let me know as to why you decided to make this event today?
Well, sure. This eclipse is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I got to see the one in 2017 driving down to Kentucky, but to have one come right over top of us is wonderful.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so we wanted to make a safe way for people to see the eclipse.
Yeah, I love that. All right. Here we go. Look at that. Also, too, we have someone back here making their very own finder. So this is really exciting that you got to bring the community together and for this event today.
We're glad to do it. Inexpensive and very useful.
Yeah.
And so you'd use this while the moon is covering up the sun, and while it's uncovering at the end.
Yeah, okay.
During the eclipse itself, the totality, you don't need anything. You can look with your eyes and enjoy the sight.
All right, that's fantastic.
This kind of looks like my first one.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it was really good.
Great.
Thank you so much. So you're going to have...
Glad to help.
We really appreciate that. It was really cool to hear how you explained it.
People should be able to view it safely. So the ability to have an event like this where people can come, get gear, learn more about the eclipse, what it is, and just connect with their community is really cool.
The Research Center for Educational Technology is hosting this event today to really just educate the community about the upcoming eclipse and get them excited for it, especially students in the area that might not be aware of RSET and all their resources, and also the Citizen Science Grant project that is currently going on right now. So RSET recently received a huge, very exciting grant from NSF, which is allowing them to partake in a citizen science project to take photographs of the solar eclipse as it actually happens and broadcast it online. And they're working alongside a lot of organizations and colleges across the nation to actually do this.
All right, to be prepared for the eclipse, make sure you visit kentwire.com for more information so you can be ready for Monday's solar event. For TV2 News, I'm Emma Campbell.
All right, Emma, thank you very much. Well, on Monday, make sure you grab those eclipse glasses like we mentioned earlier, and maybe a raincoat. Severe thunderstorms could put a damper on eclipse watching next week, especially on those in the south, as parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana could see damaging winds, hail, and possibly a tornado. But it's projected to not come at the same time the eclipse will happen. There's been some crazy weather going on around the country.
There has. It's been really crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can't help but ask if we will see that type of weather on Eclipse Day here in Ohio. Luckily, we have our own Michael Neenan, our weather anchor, to tell us more. Michael, what can you tell us?
Well, guys, I will say that there is going to be a slight chance of rain on Monday. However, that is to be expected. We have had rain the last couple days, and it won't be too bad, especially since a total solar eclipse only lasts for a couple minutes. So regardless, it shouldn't be too big of a deal. You should be able to go out and see that eclipse with your glasses. Of course, I'm Michael Neenan, and you know what? I think it's about time we get into the local forecast because currently in Kent, it is 45 degrees. It is raining a little bit. You're seeing some precipitation. It does feel like it is 42 degrees though. Dew point is at 35 degrees with winds traveling southwest at around 7 miles an hour with humidity at around 66%. But I'm very happy to report that we have a full 10-mile visibility. Now, as we check on the weather going from tonight and into tomorrow at 8 p.m., it's going to be 43 degrees. It will be rainy. And then at midnight, it will drop a little bit to 39 degrees. It's still going to be raining. It's pretty much raining all night into the morning. And you may actually get some snow at 8 a.m. And that's not a good thing, by the way, because, well, rain and snow, that creates sleet. And sleet's very dangerous to drive on. So definitely be careful tomorrow morning. Make sure you get up nice and early and drive slowly. Now, for those in the back that weren't listening, just to recap, tonight and tomorrow, it will get as low as 35 degrees. You will get some snow, but it's going to be mostly rainy, and there might be a little bit of sleet on the road. The winds are traveling southwest at around 6 miles an hour, and the sun is setting at 7:53 p.m., so you have plenty of sunlight to look forward to. It won't even get dark probably till closer to 9-ish, but it's all the time I have for now. But be sure to tune in later, though, as we check on the statewide temperatures and maybe even that 7-day forecast. Let's get back to the news.
Thank you, Michael. Well, even though we were under a severe thunderstorm watch in the area last night, it was pretty tame at the end of the day in our neck of the woods. But a round of thunderstorms came in the morning all throughout the Ohio Valley, which was followed by supercell storms. Those consist of powerful wind and large hail. One person was killed in northern Kentucky from a crash from the weather, and PowerOutage.us says there is more than 250,000 electrical outages due to the storms.
Taking things out of Ohio, last night's severe weather affected several other states. A confirmed tornado touched down shortly before midnight in Georgia, just east of Atlanta. Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, and Kentucky were in a tornado watch from 6 p.m. until 2 a.m. The Tennessee Emergency Management Agency says an unconfirmed tornado impacted the Sunbright community in Morgan County, but no injuries were immediately reported. And AP reported about 40,000 homes and businesses were without power yesterday morning.
Well, we are in the middle of the first week back from spring break here at Kent State, and I'll tell you what, Hayden, the university is back to busy as
sure
well.
Are, Matt. So our own Joe Malvin is here to talk about all the events and exciting new things for students to do. Good evening, Joe.
Portage County, great to see you. It's been a hot minute. Hope your spring break went well. Let's check out some of the local news happening around campus today. Well, today the School of Theater and Dance held their Discover Theater and Dance Day. Students got the opportunity to join School Director Tony Hardin for an informational session covering majors such as dance, dance studies, musical theater, theater studies, and design technology. Students also had the chance to tour school classrooms, studios, and theaters. Well, one of the biggest Fab events of the year is finally here, Big Bucks Bingo. Tonight, join Fab KSU in the ballroom and be ready to bring home the bacon. The event is filled with big prizes and big surprises. Big Bucks Bingo runs from 7 to 8 p.m. tonight in the Kent State Student Center Ballroom. Make sure to get in line early as capacity is maxed out at the first 800 people. And Kent State Culinary Services is bringing back their food truck series. And today, the food trucks were out for lunch from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Students could swing by Risman Plaza for a bite to eat. Some restaurants represented included Fork in the Road, Mamacita's, SoCo, and Galaxy Grill. Be sure to check back in at Risman Plaza next Wednesday to try something new or go back to a familiar favorite when the food trucks return. Well, Portage County, that is all the time I have for you today. For TV2 News, I've been Joe Malvin, tossing it back to Matt and Hayden at the desk.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. Taking things to the land, it is time to break out the red carpet because the 2024 International Cleveland Film Festival is right around the corner. The festival will run tomorrow until April 13th, and there will be a Kent State presence. 3 professors, 5 current students, and 1 alum will have films they are a part of playing at the festival.
Keeping things in the film industry, a blockbuster movie filming in Cleveland is looking for local cast and crew. The film, currently under the name Genesis, is filming this summer and will have casting calls open around the end of April to early May. Resumes for anyone interested in working on the crew are currently being accepted. While details have not been confirmed, many suspect the film to actually be the new Superman Legacy movie directed by James Gunn. The film is also slated to shoot in Cincinnati.
Today, an earthquake took place in Taiwan. We tell you how many people were affected and what the country is doing now for relief.
President Biden has made a response after the events that took place in Gaza that killed 7 World Central Kitchen Aid workers. We've got his response coming up.
On 9/27, this absolute menace of a man broke the Stardew community when he tweeted this image.
3, but that looked really good for the time.
That was incredible to me. My body kept shaking, and I also got a picture with them too, which was awesome.
Catch All Systems Go, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. TV2 Entertainment. See what's up.
Can you concern with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. Living seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. One book can make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Welcome back. Fruit juice could be linked to weight gain in children, and one of our own did a little bit more digging as to what this means.
That's right. Nikki Gajeski is here to tell you everything you need to know. Nikki, good evening.
Good evening, guys. In January, a new study was published with results of 100% fruit juice being potentially linked to weight gain in children. I had the chance to explore the results of the study and what it means for parents.
Pomegranate is my favorite. I like apple, but a lot of sugar. Orange juice is good for breakfast.
Like Mazola, many love fruit juice, but a new study from the University of Toronto might encourage juice lovers to choose differently, especially little ones. The study looked at results from other large studies to discover an association between drinking juice and increases in weight gain. Researchers were inspired to conduct the study by the increase in worldwide obesity.
Actually, there was a research study that just came out. Over the world, there is over 1 billion people that are considered obese now. So yeah, it's a concern across the world, across age groups, so children are no different.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that 14.7 million children in the United States were considered obese between 2017 and 2021, meaning obesity is still high in the U.S. The Toronto team wanted to learn if 100% fruit juice has a role in childhood obesity. They discovered a small 0.07 pound increase in the weight of children who had additional servings.
So it's really coming down to consuming more calories than they really need. And if those too many calories are coming from fruit juice, then that could be potentially a problem.
Researchers suggest either delaying the time when children first drink fruit juice or moderating serving sizes. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention has some guidelines of how much fruit juice to drink daily. For infants and toddlers, they recommend 4 ounces, so roughly this. For children 4 through 6, they take the amount up to 6 ounces, being this. For 7 and older, including adults, they increase the amount to 8 ounces, which is a cup. Kane Bish adds, you don't have to stop drinking the juice, but instead, drink it in moderation.
Fruit juices have lots of vitamins and minerals associated with them.
A lot of fruit juices have your vitamin C's, your vitamin A's, so they definitely can benefit you.
Yeah, depending on what brand you drink or whatever. Yeah, it could be beneficial, but the sugar's the main problem.
Scientists say fruit juice drinking habits for kids can impact future weight and eating habits that can lead to weight problems for them as adults.
Again, there are smart choices and there are bad choices.
Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Nikki Gajeski.
Kane Bish recommends for parents to follow either MyPlate or dietary guidelines for parents as nutritional guidelines for their children. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Nikki Gajeski.
Nikki, thank you very much. Well, an earthquake struck Hulane City in Taiwan this morning. According to the nation's Natural Fire Agency, the death toll as of now is up to 9 individuals. 882 people are suffering from injuries, and the severity of those injured is not known. 131 are currently not able to get out in the city's Silks Place Hotel, Taroko. Rescue authorities are facing struggles when connecting those who are stuck via phone connections.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Michael Neenan, and you know what? You might be wondering right now, Michael, what is the temperature right now in Sandusky? I want to get back to Cedar Point. I want to try some of those roller coasters. Well, unfortunately, it is pretty rainy, and it's also 47 degrees there, so I don't recommend it. It is still April, so you may have to wait, say, another month, even a couple weeks potentially. But right now, I would say it is still pretty cold. As you go down south into the Mansfield area, it's around 46. But then as you go east, it actually does get a little bit warmer. As you can see, as you go, it even gets into the high 40s, except for Ashtabula on the lake. It's a little bit cold. It gets as low as 43 degrees. Really not too warm over there. But let's take a look at the temperature right across Ohio, because going from west to east, up in the northwestern part of Ohio, in the Toledo area, it's in the mid to low 40s. As you go south, though, as expected, it does go up a little bit. Dayton is 46. Cincinnati and northern Kentucky are in the high 40s. And right here in Hayden Cruz's stomping grounds in central Ohio, it is in the high 40s as well. But funny thing is, as you go east, it actually does get a little bit warmer. As you know, in northeast Ohio, in some parts, it is actually in the high 40s, with Athens right now being 51 degrees, shockingly. Now, that's not warm, I would say, but, it is close enough to shorts weather. So, maybe you see some people in Athens wearing shorts right now. I don't know. Now, I say we take a look at the forecast over the next 7 days. I know you've been very curious because, after all, the eclipse is coming on Monday. Well, let's start small first, because Thursday, Friday, it's going to be a little bit rainy, a little bit snowy. It's going to be in those mid to low 40 ranges. As you go into the weekend, though, it will clear up a bit, and it will actually be up into the 50s. But really, it does warm up a little bit as the week goes on. It's not too much to worry about, but it is all the time I have for now. Be sure to check KentWire.com for any major weather updates, especially relating to the eclipse. I'm Michael Neenan. Have a great day, Portage County.
All right, thank you, Michael. The Biden administration is backing off on refilling America's emergency oil stockpile. The Energy Department says the administration will no longer buy up to 3 million barrels of oil for a reserve site in Louisiana. The department says the shift comes amid a rising prices at the gas pump. According to AAA, the national average has climbed by 20 cents over the past month to $3.55. This comes over fears the war in the Middle East could escalate and disrupt oil supplies.
A U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals heard oral arguments Wednesday to consider whether a Texas immigration law is constitutional. The law, Senate Bill 4, lets state officials arrest and detain people they think are entering the country illegally. The 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans blocked it to consider its constitutionality and heard arguments on Wednesday.
Big changes are coming to Wisconsin's elections this year. Tuesday, voters approved 2 new election law changes that were championed by Republicans. Private donations for elections are now banned in the state. Wisconsin now joins more than 24 states that have banned or otherwise regulated private donations for elections. Voters also approved a Second Amendment that would allow only officials selected by state law to administer elections. Those in favor of the amendment said it will guard against outside consultants participating in the election process.
The White House says President Biden has shown commitment to an immediate ceasefire and hostage release in Gaza. This came during a contentious meeting with Muslim leaders Tuesday evening. The gathering went upside down after its only Palestinian American participant, Dr. Thayer Ahmed, left in protest.
In a statement Tuesday, President Biden criticized Israel for a deadly strike, saying Israel has not done enough to protect civilians. The 7 who lost their lives worked for World Central Kitchen, the organization founded by famed chef Jose Andres. The group says a convoy was hit leaving a warehouse where the team had unloaded more than 100 tons of humanitarian aid. The Israeli military says the deadly airstrike was a mistake that followed a misidentification at night. Biden says Israel's investigation must be swift and its findings must be made public.
Baseball season is in full swing. Could the Guards get a win against the tough Seattle Mariners? Find out next on Sports.
And let him get attacked by long-range enemies. And since he was already at low health, it only took one more hit to take him down, resulting in the second death of the Iron Man.
And goes off screen. Instead of looping around to the other side, he goes to the next stage of an infinite procedurally generated maze.
It's like Bill Nye, the science guy, but better.
Catch All Systems Go, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. TV2 Entertainment. See what's up.
Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart that there's room for me and mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, you know, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero. Good job, kitty cat. When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Well, what does Caitlin Clark, Dawn Staley, and Paige Buchers all have in common? Well, they are in Cleveland. Teams competing in this year's Women's Final Four are in the 2-1-6 and ready to make history. The 4 teams looking to win the title include Iowa, South Carolina, NC State, and UConn. The semifinal games will take place on Friday, with the winner being crowned on Sunday. And look who it is to talk more about sports. What's up, Liv Sharp?
Hi, how you doing? Glad to be here, Matt.
Yeah, what do you have for sports?
Oh, we got a lot for you. Some Kent State softball, some Kent State gymnastics. I'm not going to make you guys wait a minute longer. I know you've been patiently waiting
I'm so excited
for sports, so let's get right into it. Like I said, I'm Liv Sharp, and we've got a whole lot of sports news, so let's get into it. Starting with Kent State gymnastics. The Kent State gymnastics team is set to compete at the Michigan Regional for the 2024 Gymnastics Championship. This is the first time the Flashes will return to the NCAA Championships as a team since 2021. The number 23 ranked Flashes will compete against number 8 ranked Alabama, number 11 ranked Michigan, and number 25 ranked Penn State. And the top 2 finishers from that group will compete again on Saturday, April 6th. Good luck, ladies. Yesterday, the Kent State softball team dropped both games in a doubleheader against Ohio. The Flashes fell in the first game by a score of 7-1, with Brita Spines notching the only RBI. The second game, Kent State took an early 1-0 lead, but eventually lost by a score of 4-2, with Alexandria Whitmore and Bryn Libler adding an RBI each. Next up, the Flashes head to Toledo for a 3-game series on April 6th. You can catch all the action on ESPN+. Cleveland was sleepless in Seattle again with another late game against the Seattle Mariners. Could they even the series at 1 apiece? We take it to T-Mobile Park to find out. The Guardians dropped the first game against the Mariners on Monday by a score of 5-4, looking to get back on track. We head to the top of the 4th. Will Brennan up to bat. Luis Castillo pitching. Brennan with a grounder to right field, but Mitch Haniger couldn't scoop it up. And you know, bro, Jose Ramirez takes off for home. He scores the first run for Cleveland and scored 2 runs on the night. We are still at the top of the 4th. Bo Naylor moonshot to right field. He takes Castillo yard with a 2-run bomb to put the Guardians up 3-0. Eli Morgan pitching. Josh Rojas hits it up the third base line, and that dribbles fair. So Cal Raleigh scores on the RBI double. Seattle trails by 4. Now Scott Barlow on the mound for Cleveland, and J.P. Crawford grounds out to Brian Rocchio, but Ty France will add another run. The bullpen for Cleveland thankfully ends the damage there, and Emmanuel Clase comes on to get the save. Starting pitcher Shane Bieber had a clinic 6th inning and 9 Ks to help the Guardians get the 5-2 win over Seattle. Now, the Guardians are playing another game right now. They're up 7-0. I think that one's going to be great. What do you guys think about the future for this Guardians team?
I like the Stephen Vogt hire. I think he brings a real culture. It's a different one than Tito. Obviously, there's no experience with him. This is his first season managing an MLB club. But I think that this is going to be a real sign of the times for positive vibes to come in the future for the Guardians.
Oh, 100%. Having a young manager means everything. It's a lot of energy. The guys seem to be rallying around him. He's up along the dugout with all the boys screaming and hollering whenever someone scores a run. So he is doing amazing things.
And I know Hayden loves going to the ballpark too.
I do. Yep. Diamond Dog Nights, my favorite. Yep.
Sports anchor Hayden Cruz.
Sports anchor.
I love it.
Honorary sports member.
All right, well, Monday's Powerball drawing ended up without a winner. However, the redraw is happening tonight. How much is in the pot, and could the lucky winner be you?
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Robert.
That is all the time we have for you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
For updates on all of these stories and more, visit our website at kentwire.com. I'm Hayden Cruz.
And I'm Matt Corrali, wishing you all good night. And stay tuned for All Systems Go tonight at 9. And we'll be right back here with the news tomorrow.
Good luck on the Powerball.
Did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.